All right, let's dive into this fascinating world where celestial bodies meet Jewish mysticism. You guys want to explore the connection between astrology and Kabbalah, and you even send over this masterclass from the Impulsa Tu Alma YouTube channel. So let's jump right in.
Yeah, astrology, it's definitely not an exact science,
Yeah.
but it offers a really captivating framework for self-discovery. It's like this symbolic language, helps us understand our place in the universe.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to unpack all this. And the video starts with something I find super interesting, the Genesis creation story. It really lays the groundwork for understanding these concepts in Kabbalah. And one detail that often gets overlooked is that both the sun and moon were initially sources of light.
Right. It's a detail that often gets missed, but it actually speaks volumes about the interconnected nature of the universe. In Kabbalah, the physical world is seen as a reflection of higher spiritual realms. And this story, with its symbolism, hints at those deeper connections.
And then the story takes this interesting turn. The moon, feeling a bit insecure maybe, complains about having to share the spotlight. And as a result, its light is diminished. Now it's left reflecting the sun's glory.
Yeah, almost like a cosmic metaphor. Just as the moon reflects the sun's light, our lives can reflect the influence of these powerful cosmic forces.
That's a really cool way to look at it. Now, the video goes on to delve into the seven celestial bodies that are considered most influential in Kabbalah: Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon. And what's intriguing is that these planets are listed in order of their distance from Earth, and their placement at the time of our birth supposedly influences our personality and destiny.
Right, that's the concept of Mazal. Think of it as a cosmic blueprint. This unique configuration of energies that shape our predispositions and potential paths. It can influence your career choices, your relationships, even your learning style. But, but it's crucial to remember that we're not simply puppets of fate. Kabbalah emphasizes the power of free will. We have the ability to choose how we respond to these influences and shape our own destinies.
Okay, so we're not just slaves to our mazel. We actually have a say in how things unfold.
Absolutely, that's a central tenet of Kabbalah. We're not just passive recipients of cosmic energies. We have the power to interact with them, to channel them, to make conscious choices that align with our highest aspirations.
That's incredibly empowering. So I'm curious about how these planetary influences actually manifest in our lives. Does the video provide any concrete examples?
It does. It uses Mars as a case study. The video explains that individuals born under the influence of Mars, particularly those born on Tuesdays, are said to have a predisposition for aggression and anger. The Hebrew word for Mars, madim, actually comes from dam, meaning blood.
Oh, interesting. So there's a linguistic connection that hints at this fiery, passionate energy associated with Mars.
Exactly. It's woven into the very fabric of language. And we see it mirrored in the names of the days of the week. Tuesday, for instance, is Mars Day. Even in Spanish, Martes comes from Marte, meaning Mars. These ancient connections are all around us.
That's fascinating. It's like these subtle reminders of cosmic influences are embedded in our everyday lives. But if someone is born with this Martian influence, does that mean they're destined to be aggressive or prone to anger?
Not necessarily. And that's where the concept of free will comes into play again. The video emphasizes that this Martian energy doesn't have to be destructive. It can be channeled into assertive leadership, courage in challenging situations, or even a drive to protect and serve. Think of figures like firefighters, surgeons, or even athletes' professions that often require a certain degree of controlled aggression and a willingness to push boundaries.
So instead of being controlled by this energy, you can learn to wield it constructively. Take that raw power and transform it into something positive and purposeful.
Exactly. It's about understanding your own personal resolve, recognizing both the challenges and the opportunities it presents, and then making conscious choices about how you want to express those energies. It's not about denying who you are, but about refining and channeling those inherent qualities.
Okay, this is starting to make a lot of sense. It's not just about knowing your astrological sign, it's about understanding the deeper nuances of these cosmic influences and how they interplay with our own choices.
Precisely. And that brings us to another fascinating aspect highlighted in the video, the story of Abraham. According to Kabbalistic tradition, Abraham possessed profound knowledge of astrology. But he didn't simply observe and catalog planetary influences. He sought to understand how this knowledge could be used to elevate one's spiritual life.
So for Abraham, astrology wasn't just about fortune telling or predicting events. It was a tool for self-discovery and spiritual growth. I'm curious to learn more about his approach.
Well, the video explains that Abraham's teachings help people differentiate between their inherent personality traits, influenced by their mazal, and the qualities they develop through conscious effort. He emphasized that we're not simply defined by our astrological blueprint. We have the power to cultivate virtues, to refine our character, to transcend our limitations.
That's such an important distinction. It's about recognizing that we have both nature and nurture at play. We're not just products of our cosmic circumstances. We have agency in shaping who we become.
Exactly, and that agency is tied to the choices we make, the actions we take, and the intentions we hold. It's about aligning ourselves with a higher purpose, with something beyond our immediate desires and ego-driven impulses.
I'm really starting to see how these concepts of astrology and Kabbalah can be used not just to understand ourselves better, but to actually become better versions of ourselves.
Precisely. It's a journey of self-discovery and transformation. And it all starts with recognizing that we have a choice in how we respond to the cosmic energies at play in our lives. And that journey of self-discovery, it involves understanding not only our strengths, but also our limitations, recognizing those areas where we might be predisposed to certain challenges based on our Mizal.
So if someone discovers they were born under an influence that might predispose them to anger, they shouldn't just throw up their hands and say, well, I guess I'm doomed to be a hothead.
Exactly. Kabbalah reminds us that we are not defined by these predispositions. Instead, we can use that knowledge to consciously cultivate positive traits and mitigate those tendencies. You can think of it like a gardener tending to their plants. We can choose which seeds to nurture and which weeds to pull.
Okay, so it's like having this cosmic roadmap. It shows us the terrain, but we still have the power to choose our path and our destination.
Exactly. It's about understanding the influences at play. But ultimately, we are the drivers. And speaking of guides, the video reminds us that the Torah, the central text of Judaism, is full of wisdom and practices that can support us on that journey.
Right, and you mentioned earlier that the video also talks about the importance of a Hebrew name. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? I'm curious to know how a name can influence one's destiny.
Yeah, the Kabbalistic understanding of names is fascinating. Each Hebrew letter has a numerical value and a specific spiritual significance. So your Hebrew name is seen as more than just a label. It's like an energetic code carrying specific qualities and potentialities.
Wow, that's deep. So if someone doesn't have a Hebrew name, is there value in exploring the possibility of adopting one?
The video suggests that it could be a powerful step in your self-discovery journey, adding another layer of meaning and purpose to your life, like tuning yourself to a particular frequency, aligning yourself with the energies represented by those letters.
It all ties back to the idea that we're not just passive recipients of fate, but active participants in shaping our destinies.
Yes. And that active participation involves making conscious choices that align with our highest aspirations. It's about using our free will to cultivate virtues, refine our character, and contribute positively to the world around us.
So knowing about our mazal, or our astrological influences, is just the starting point. The real work lies in using that knowledge to become the best versions of ourselves. But how do we even know where to start?
Well, the video mentions that the portion of the Torah corresponding to your birth date can offer valuable insights into your spiritual path and life lessons.
Wait, so each birthday has a corresponding section in the Torah. It's like having a personalized message tailored to your specific soul journey.
You can think of it that way.
Yeah.
The Torah is divided into weekly portions that are read throughout the year, and each one has unique themes and teachings. Exploring the portion connected to your birth date can be a powerful way to connect with the wisdom of the Torah and discover its relevance to your own life.
That's incredible. It really highlights the interconnectedness of everything: astrology, Kabbalah, the Torah, and our own individual destinies.
Indeed, it's like a grand tapestry woven together by invisible threads of cosmic energy and spiritual meaning.
This is all so inspiring. For someone listening who is ready to delve deeper into their own mazal, what are some practical steps they can take?
Well, the video suggests connecting with Impulsa Tu Alma for personalized guidance, which is a great option. But you can also start by simply researching your birth date and its corresponding planetary influences. There are many resources available online and in libraries to help you.
So it sounds like a good first step is to just dive in and start exploring. But remember, it's not just about accumulating knowledge, it's about applying it to your life.
Absolutely. Embrace the process of learning and growing. Allow yourself to be surprised by the insights you uncover along the way.
Now, I want to touch on a concept the video mentioned earlier, tikkun olam, which I know is a core principle in Judaism. Can you explain how this idea of repairing the world connects to our discussion about astrology and Kabbalah?
Tikkun olam, meaning repairing the world, is the belief that we have a responsibility to make the world a better place. Kabbalah teaches that each of us has a unique role to play in this process of healing and transformation.
So it's not just about personal growth, it's about using our unique gifts and talents to contribute to something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. Understanding our mazzels, our strengths and weaknesses, can help us identify how we can best contribute. For example, someone with a strong Martian influence, once they've learned to channel those energies effectively, might be drawn to professions that involve courage, action, or leadership, where they can truly make a positive impact.
So it's like taking our cosmic blueprint and using it to create a better world, both for ourselves and for others.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that we are all interconnected, and our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
I'm reminded of the story of Rabbi Akiva's daughter, how her potential tragedy was averted through an act of kindness. It serves as a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always a spark of hope and the potential for transformation.
That's a wonderful example. Kabbalah teaches us that there are hidden sparks of holiness, even within seemingly negative experiences. Our challenge is to find those sparks and use them to elevate ourselves and the world around us.
So it's about seeing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow, learn, and become more compassionate.
Exactly. And that's where the concept of free will comes in again. We always have the power to choose how we respond to challenges, whether we succumb to negativity or use them as fuel for positive transformation.
This is all so empowering. It's like a reminder that we're not just victims of circumstance, but co-creators of our own reality.
Yes. And that co-creation involves aligning ourselves with the divine will, which, as the video suggests, is ultimately about love, compassion, and justice.
So it's not just about fulfilling our own desires, but about contributing to a world where everyone can thrive and reach their full potential.
Precisely. Kabbalah teaches that true fulfillment comes from connecting with something larger than ourselves, from contributing to the well-being of others and the world as a whole.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. We've explored the fascinating interplay between astrology, Kabbalah, and our own destinies. We've learned about the power of free will, the importance of self-knowledge, and the transformative potential of even the most challenging experiences.
Indeed. We've barely scratched the surface of this vast and intricate subject, but I hope this exploration has sparked a desire in you to continue learning, questioning, and seeking deeper meaning in your own life.
I know I'm feeling incredibly inspired, and I'm sure our listeners are too. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to the video's suggestion about personalized sessions with Impulsa Tu Alma. Can you remind us about the special discount code for our listeners?
Of course. For those who are ready to take a deeper dive into their own mazel and spiritual journey, Impulsa Tu Alma is offering a special discount of 25% off their personalized sessions. Just use the code ASTRO25 when booking your session.
That's an incredible opportunity to gain personalized guidance from experts in Kabbalistic astrology.
Indeed. And remember, this journey of self-discovery is ongoing. It's about continually learning, growing, and evolving into the best versions of ourselves.
Well said. Now let's move on to the final part of our deep dive. There's still so much more to explore. As we've been talking about this idea of personal growth, this transformation, it's striking how much emphasis is placed on the individual's journey. But I'm kind of curious about the collective aspect of all this. How does Kabbalah view our interconnectedness? And how does that tie into the concept of tikkun olam?
That's a great observation. It's really easy to get caught up in the personal aspects of self-discovery, but Kabbalah reminds us that we are all interconnected. Our individual journeys are ultimately intertwined, forming this larger tapestry of human experience.
So even though we each have our own unique mizal, our actions and choices have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
Exactly. The video highlights this beautifully by comparing our actions to a pebble being tossed into a pond. The ripples spread outward, impacting the entire body of water. Similarly, what we do affects not only ourselves, but also the people around us and the world as a whole.
So I'm starting to see how this connects to the idea of tikkun olam. If we're all interconnected, then repairing the world isn't just a lofty ideal, it's an imperative that stems from this understanding of our shared destiny.
Precisely. Our individual efforts to refine our character, cultivate virtues, and act with compassion contribute to the collective healing and transformation of the world. It's like each of us holding a piece of a puzzle. The bigger picture only emerges when we come together.
Now, there's one question that's been lingering in my mind throughout this deep dive. The video mentioned that predicting the future using astrology is prohibited in Kabbalah. Why is that? If we understand the cosmic influences at play, wouldn't it be logical to try and forecast what might happen?
It's a question many people have. It gets to the heart of Kabbalah's emphasis on free will. The future is not seen as a fixed, predetermined script. We have the power to change our destinies through our choices and actions.
So even if someone's mazel suggests they might face certain challenges, they're not bound to a predetermined fate.
Exactly. Focusing on predictions can lead to a sense of helplessness and disempowerment. Kabbalah encourages us to embrace the mystery of life and to trust that we have the ability to create a positive future.
That's so empowering. It shifts the focus from trying to foresee the future to actively shaping it. It's like we're not just passengers on this cosmic journey, but co-pilots with the ability to adjust our course.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. The video encourages us to use our knowledge of astrology and Kabbalah as tools for self-discovery, growth, and transformation, rather than trying to use them as crystal balls to predict specific events.
So instead of getting caught up in trying to figure out what's going to happen, we can focus on becoming the best versions of ourselves and making choices that align with our values and aspirations.
Precisely. It's about living with intention and purpose, knowing that we have the power to influence the unfolding of our lives and contribute to a world that reflects those values.
Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've explored this fascinating world of Kabbalistic astrology, uncovering its insights into our personalities, destinies, and the power we hold to shape our lives.
We've learned about the interplay of cosmic influences and free will, the importance of self-knowledge, and the transformative potential of even the most challenging experiences. But remember, this is just the beginning of your exploration. The journey of self-discovery is ongoing.
To our amazing listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep reaching for the stars. The universe is full of wonder and possibility, and the journey of self-discovery is the greatest adventure of all.